There's the digital sculptor, and there's the hands-on clay sculptor. The digital sculptor will start to build these surfaces in the computer. The hands-on sculptor can take a sketch and turn it into a three-dimensional model. The scale models are built out of a large piece of foam, and then we cover the foam with clay. Once that's complete, then we put a skin on the clay. It looks like paint. On the interior design, we start again with sketches, just like we did on the exterior. We'll put a clay model together and we'll actually paint it and put all the parts and pieces in there, the radios, the climate controls, the instrumentation for driving, all your buttons for windows. We'll put all that stuff in there so at the end it looks like a finished interior design for a car or truck. Once the design is complete, it then begins to be built in an actual manufacturing facility, which we call a plant, where there are teams of skilled tradespeople who put the car together. The vehicle is moving down the line, and as it's moving, people walk up to it and they assemble their part onto the vehicle. Safety is a big priority in the manufacturing process because a lot of the people in the manufacturing plants work around a lot of heavy equipment. When it's complete, it rolls off the assembly line. It then goes to our dealerships where it's on the lot for customers to come and purchase the vehicle. And that's the most fulfilling part, when you see the vehicles that you worked on the road with satisfied customers.
Before Michigan became an industrial state, the area was covered with forests. Several Native American groups, such as the Chippewa and the Ottawa, hunted in the forests and fished on the lakes long before European settlers arrived. The French were the first Europeans to build settlements here. Sault Ste. Marie, located on the Upper Peninsula where Lake Huron connects with Lake Superior, was their first settlement in Michigan. In addition to the French, the British also wanted control of this region with its source of valuable fur pelts. They fought the French over this region during the French and Indian War. It was called that because many Native Americans fought on the side of the French against the British. Ultimately, the British took control of the area, but later the land became a U.S. territory after the American Revolutionary War. There were very few settlers in this region until the Erie Canal opened in New York State in 1825. The Erie Canal connected cities in the eastern part of the U.S. with the Great Lakes. Once the canal was open, many new people came to settle on the land that would become the 26th state. Alicia.
You'll never guess what first I'm putting on my list now. I'm writing to you from Battle Creek, Michigan. The first ready-to-eat breakfast cereal was invented right here in this town.
If you walk down the aisle of a grocery store, you can see box after box of breakfast cereal. Did you ever wonder where some of that cereal comes from? In 1894, two brothers were experimenting with creating healthy foods, putting grains through rollers to make it into long sheets of dough. One day, after cooking wheat, they accidentally left it out. When they came back to it, the wheat had dried up. They decided to try putting the wheat through their rollers anyway, and what came out to their surprise was flakes. That accidental discovery was the beginning of ready-to-eat breakfast cereal. One of the brothers, whose name was Dr. John Kellogg, ran a place where people who felt ill could come to try and feel better. He served his breakfast invention to the patients there. One of his patients was a man named Charles William Post. Mr. Post went on to open his own business selling breakfast cereal, and it became a big success. Dr. Kellogg's brother also opened a cereal business, and by 1902, 30 different cereal companies had set up operations in Battle Creek. Today, companies in Battle Creek are still making cereal. Some of the cereal is made from corn. First, the corn is milled to remove the outer husks. What's left is called grits. These are cooked in steam pressure cookers at a very high temperature, which softens the grits. The hot grits are dried and then rolled flat. The flakes are then tumbled in huge toaster ovens and then sprayed with vitamins and minerals to make them more nutritious. They are bagged and boxed and then loaded on trucks. To be transported to stores all across the nation. So the next time you pour yourself a bowl of breakfast cereal, you'll know where it came from. Besides cereal and automobiles, other products made in Michigan include baby food, furniture, and aircraft parts. Products are things that people grow or make, usually to sell. The plains of Michigan are great for growing apples, corn, asparagus, and sugar beets. One crop that Michigan is known for is cherries. Michigan's climate is good for growing fruit trees. The lakes that surround the state have a big impact on its climate. In the fall, the water of the Great Lakes stays warm after the air turns cold, which has the effect of delaying freezing temperatures. In the spring, the opposite occurs. The water in the lakes stays cool, which keeps the air temperature cool as well. This is called the lake effect. The lake effect is also a cause of heavy snowfalls in the area. Lots of snow is one reason that many people like to vacation in Michigan. There are places to downhill ski, cross-country ski, and snowmobile in the state. Ice skating and ice hockey are popular sports, and some people even race dog sleds through the snow.
Every year, people venture out onto frozen lakes to ice fish. Many Michigan lakes freeze thick enough to walk on, but the lake isn't frozen solid. Underneath the ice, fish such as walleye and bluegill swim in some very cold water.
In the summertime, people enjoy Michigan's lakes by boating, swimming, sailing, and canoeing. Forests cover more than half the state, making it a great place to camp and hike. In fact, the white pine is the Michigan state.
I've been camping and hiking for days. I've seen all kinds of wild animals, pheasant, elk, beaver, and I think a badger too. Now don't get me wrong, I love the wilderness, but I think I'm ready for...
Hello, my name is Ahmed. My sister and I live in Dearborn, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. My parents moved here from Lebanon, way before I was born. My dad owns a bakery. On Saturdays, I hang out there, sometimes with my friends. It smells great with all the baklava and other pastries. My uncles work with my dad, and lots of my cousins do too. Sometimes they speak Arabic, which I can sort of understand, but I can't always keep up with the conversation. I like to play soccer, just for fun sometimes with my friends in the neighborhood, but I also play on my school team. For the last 2 years, I've been in the chess club. I practice a lot playing with my friends and sister. My club is really good. Last year we won the city championship. We get to travel to other cities for big tournaments. Last summer, my family vacationed at the Sleeping Bear Dunes. My favorite part of the trip was climbing to the top of the sand dunes. They're huge! The people in my neighborhood are from many different countries, and it's really friendly. We joke about who has the best soccer team, but it's never too serious. Dearborn is a great place to call home.
Dearborn is an example of a suburb. A suburb is an area just outside a city where many people live. Cities are known as urban areas. The urban area and the suburbs together are called a metropolitan area. The Detroit metropolitan area includes many suburbs, such as Farmington Hills and Sterling Heights. Some people in Michigan live in rural areas. A rural area is someplace outside of the cities, where there might be farms, small towns, or forests. Many Native Americans in Michigan live on reservations. A reservation is land set aside by the government for use by Native American groups.
Can you believe this place? It's called the Pictured Rocks, and it's a national lakeshore on the Upper Peninsula. These cliffs were made into all these cool shapes by the wind, ice, and pounding waves from Lake Superior. I wonder why these rocks are so colorful. It says here that minerals in the water there stain the rocks, giving them their many colors.
Michigan's Upper Peninsula has long been a source of important natural resources, such as iron ore and copper. A natural resource is something found in nature that people can use. Oil and natural gas are also found in Michigan. Oil is used to make fuel for engines and to make many other products, including plastics and chemicals. Natural gas is also used as fuel. People burn natural gas to do things like heat their homes and cook their food. Another natural resource found in Michigan is salt. Salt is mined from large underground deposits in the Detroit area. Michigan salt is used for keeping roads and sidewalks clear of ice and snow. Salt, oil, natural gas, and iron ore are all examples of non-renewable natural resources. That means that once they are used up, they can't be replaced. So people have to plan carefully how they use non-renewable natural resources. Other natural resources in Michigan are renewable, such as trees. The area was heavily forested when settlers first arrived, so timber and lumber have long been an important industry.
Have you ever seen so many tulips, Alicia? I'm in a town called Holland in the western part of Michigan, and they raise millions of tulips here. The bulbs that the flowers are grown from are shipped all over the U.S. Aren't they beautiful? Miguel, it sounds like there are some really interesting places in Michigan.
Grand Rapids, located on the Grand River in southwest Michigan, has long been known as a furniture manufacturing center. Lansing is the capital city of Michigan. A capital is the city where the main offices of a state's government are located. The state's lawmakers meet in Lansing. And that's also where the governor lives. Isle Royale is an island north of the Upper Peninsula in Lake Superior. It's an area of wilderness in Michigan that's pretty much untouched by the outside world. The only way to reach the island is by boat or float plane, and once you're on the island, there are no roads. There are herds of moose on the island, and one of the few packs of wild wolves in the U.S.